This is Get Real and Heal for high-performing women executives and entrepreneurs, where we discuss all things emotional healing and the relationships with yourself, your man, and your money. I'm your host, Jamila McMallow, wife, mother, certified cognitive behavioral therapy practitioner, mindset and relationship expert with over 20 years coaching and mentoring experience. I know that when you're the one that everyone else leans on, the leader and the trailblazer, it can be difficult to let your guard down, be vulnerable, and tend to your own emotions. So I hope today's discussion will allow you a moment to experience a life-changing realization, perhaps even a transformation. So let's begin and get real and heal. Hey, how y'all doing? Today, this topic is fire, because I got lots to say. I'm not saying I'm going to be on here for a long time because, I like to get to the point. But I'm talking about this myth that there are so many women believe, which is that all you need to do is find the right man. Now, I'll tell you, I have so many single friends who I have heard say this line. They're like, well, I just got to find the right man, or, well, when I find the right man, X, Y, Z. And I'm thinking to myself, honey, it ain't got diddly squat to do with finding the right man, because you ain't going to find him, because you're not magnetized to healthy, happy, and none of that. You're attracted to toxicity. So you don't need to find anything. You know what I'm saying? It's like, they have this mythical belief that somehow they just have to keep searching through the bunch. Like men are produce at the grocery store. Like, I just keep looking and eventually I'll find a good one. No, that's not how it works. Being a serial dater, if you're a woman who's a serial dater, and so basically you have no issues meeting men, but you never have any of those relationships turn into what you want, is actually a huge clue and a red flag that you're on a relationship hamster wheel. Basically means that you're running in place. That's what you're doing. You're doing the same stuff over and over and expecting a different result. Now, here's the facts. You're repeating the same thing over and over, meaning you're going to keep searching through the bunch and finding all the ones that are bruised and dented and damaged and say, all this fruit is bad. There's no good fruit here. Like I said, if we're using that produce example, but that's just not how it works. And so if you want to get off the hamster wheel, what you really need is a disruption. You need something drastic to happen to knock you off that hamster wheel and to change what you're doing, because your relationship attraction pattern, or the pattern that you have for the type of relationships that you attract, has got to be completely crushed and redesigned. Continuing to date more men will not equal you eventually figuring it out. What's actually going to happen is it's going to result in more hits to your self-esteem, your self-confidence, and your time wasted. And I can tell you this, that, there's some different reality shows, on TV and such, and I'm not going to speak any names because I'm not endorsing anything. But there is one where people get married. And what's interesting is I've seen it, a couple of times, whatever. Here's my point. Because of what I do and how I look at situations, I can always see behind what's going on, etc., just from my expertise, from my gift, whatever. And I'm always like, no, man, no. I can see the freight train coming. And one of the biggest things that I see is just the lack of personal responsibility people take when it comes to relationships. And since this podcast is for women, since I serve women, I'm going to talk just to the women, obviously, of course. There is a huge lack of personal responsibility when it comes to relationships. We always want to act like it's the other person. Oh, there's nothing wrong with me. I mean, I'm not perfect. There's nothing wrong with me, though. So I just need to find somebody that's as good as me. Guess what? You did. And you keep finding him. He's on the same wavelength as you. He's on the same traumatized wavelength as you. On the same toxic frequency as you. And that's why you keep finding him over and over again, different hair, different color, different height, different race, whatever, but it's the same guy with the same issues because that's what's familiar to you. That's what you're attracted to. And so when I watch these shows and they set these people up and they meet with the experts and all this, and oh, they're going to be a great match. And I'm thinking to myself, well, where was the coaching? Where was the mindset coaching? Where was the relationship coaching? Where was the healing of the background and the childhood trauma and the limiting beliefs and the conditioning around, men in relationships? When did that take place? Because I'm listening to this woman talk. I'm listening to her family members, the women in her family talking, and I'm seeing, oh, this isn't going to go smoothly. Oh, this isn't going to go well. She's going to make this about him when it's actually her. You can't show up with your insecurities and your baggage and your fears and tell somebody else, well, it's your job to fix it. Because I'm insecure, you have to make me feel good about myself. No. He didn't cause any of it. So it's not his problem. See, that's step one. We think we get to show up with our U-Haul truck full of baggage and that somebody has to take care of it. No, you got to take care of that mess. That's your stuff. That is your stuff. And that's what I mean by a lack of personal responsibility. Like, oh, these are my triggers, so don't say these 27 words. Nope. You need to go ahead and deal with what's behind those triggers so you don't have them anymore. So that nobody has to walk around on eggshells and tiptoes to be in a relationship with you, because that's totally unrealistic, a totally unreasonable expectation to have of another human being, that they can't be themselves because of you and all your stuff. No. And guess what? Nobody's going to sign up for that. And if that's what it turns into, you're going to find yourself single again. So I say all that to say that, like I said, on those shows, that's what burns me up, is because I'm like, none of that work's been done. These are unhealed people coming together trying to create something healthy. And it's really sad, actually, to see how hard they really try to make it work, but they can't put the tools into place that they're given because they don't have the context for it, right? If you've never been in a happy, healthy relationship, if you've never seen one, experienced one, and you've never been taught how to behave in one, then just getting thrown into a relationship with allegedly the right person isn't going to automatically make things click, because you won't be able to see all the good things about this person, because it's just that's not what you're attracted to. Like I said, when you find yourself, dating men, you have no problem meeting them, but they all turn out to be Mr. Wrong, you're the common denominator. You're the common denominator. You are magnetized not by what is good for you, but by what is familiar. So you got to think back to your childhood and ask, how did I see my mother treated? How did I see the women in my family treated? Was my father even in my life, or was he around at all? Or was he a bad example? And how did I internalize that as a little girl? What conclusions and beliefs did I draw up into my mind about men? And what do I believe to be true and possible for me as to how I can expect to be treated by them? Do I view them as trustworthy? Do I view them as reliable, dependable, etc.? Or do I think they're all liars and cheaters, etc.? Because if that's what you believe, that's what's going to continue to show up in your life, because your brain is going to prove you right 10 times out of 10. It's just following the programming. If your brain is like a computer. So those are the beliefs that you have, that negative beliefs about men that were formed in childhood, and that's what you're attracted to. What is familiar, what you saw growing up, what you heard, what you came to believe to be true. So the good man you seek is on the other side of your unhealed childhood trauma, negative beliefs and conditioning about men, marriage, and womanhood. This guy is probably already in your orbit. He's literally hiding in plain sight. This good man. You just can't see him, through the clouded emotional filters of your emotional and painful past. And so, sis, listen, you got to wake up, because I'm down for those women who are ready to get real and heal. No more excuses. No more lame stories that you keep telling yourself about why you keep putting off doing something about your situation. And for those of you that have been rolling with me on other social media platforms, that have been following me on YouTube, that have connected me on Facebook, the lame stories and excuses as to why you haven't hired me, why you're not working with me, why you're trying to solve your problem through my free content. Yes, you're always going to get a transformation. You're always going to get something from any time I open up my mouth. But obviously the women that get the best results from working with me are the ones who have made the commitment financially and with their time. Okay? Because here's the reality. The transformations are happening, like I said. The results have been and are being created. So why not you? If you have ever reached out to me or, we got on a call, if I have invited you to work with me, it's because I am certain of my ability to help you to create the results that you desire, right? There is no book, no online course, and as far as I'm concerned, no one and nothing comparable to what I do for my clients. You can ask them, I have receipts. You can look at my testimonials. So here's the thing. If you're serious about changing this aspect of your personal life this year, then you absolutely need to get on the phone with me, or not phone, Zoom, or on a call, whatever. But you got to be ready to make a powerful decision. Okay, I'm just going to let you know right now that when you decide you want to reach out to me, if you want to send me a message on Facebook, if you want to send me a message on Instagram, that's great. And I want you to do that as a step one, because then I can kind of get a gauge as to where you are and kind of even get a preliminary idea as to whether or not I can help you. But when you go to fill out the form to work with me, you're going to pick a time, and then you're going to go through a questionnaire, because I need to know your backstory. I need to know your history. So again, I can understand what's going on, if I can really help you, and have a plan already decided on how to move forward to help you get what you desire. But the point of the call is not for some free advice or free coaching. It's for you to make a powerful decision to change your love life once and for all. I am not a tactics and quick fix, little whatevers. No. Yes, my work is accelerated inner healing. So yes, actually it is quick, but it's not what's the word I want to say? It's not a Band-Aid. It's actually the real solution, because I only deal with root cause. I only deal with the root causes of things. So if you want somebody to just give you a bunch of tips, tricks, and strategies to try to outsmart or outmaneuver your relationship attraction pattern, you're only going to get so far. Even if you end up in a relationship with a good man, because I do work with married clients who are married to good men who have not healed this stuff, and having the good man again, the myth, the right man, did not change the fact of how they still feel insecure, unsure, kind of like a fish out of water, like, oh no, did I make the right decision? Because they're so used to toxicity that being in a healthy, happy relationship feels extremely uncomfortable and like something they almost want to just run away from. So I share all of this with you to say that you've got to take personal responsibility for where you are in every area of your life. Stop looking for scapegoats. Stop looking for labels. Stop making excuses. Those are stories and things that you're telling yourself to make yourself feel better about where you are not. And let me tell you, you deserve to be loved. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to have what it is that you desire and what you want. You just have to make the powerful decision that you're going to make it happen. So that's all I got for you today. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you for listening to today's episode. Be sure to visit CoachJamila.com, where you'll find the links to connect with me on social media and more information on my private bespoke coaching for Type A high-performing women, executives, and entrepreneurs.